Welcome to part 3, when Vegito turns Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball Super. Before we get into it, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel for weekly Dragon Ball topics and discussion and stories such as these. Without further ado though, let's go ahead and get right into it. So just a quick recap of what's essentially happened in the first two parts. We learned that Goku and Vegeta in this story are actually best friends, and I mean best friends in the way of like not arguing and bickering and kind of being how they are in Dragon Ball Super. It's the complete opposite of that. Vegeta came to Earth with Goku in his own Saiyan pod, and instead of Vegeta being in the Frieza Force, he grew up with Goku. They fought together, they went through all the Dragon Ball stuff. That's essentially how their characters have evolved and have grown in this story, and their main focus is to get themselves as strong as they can individually. That way they can maximize their strength and capabilities in the fusion, because the villains in this story are much tougher and much stronger than what we have witnessed in the canon timeline of Dragon Ball Super. It's kind of like the main gist of what's happened in the first two parts. So now let's officially start part 3. So we kick off with Goku and Vegeta beginning their one-on-one battle as requested by their mentor Whis. This is all taking place on Beerus' homeworld, by the way. Whis informs the Saiyans to not hold back, but obviously don't destroy one another, and also try not to wake up Lord Beerus, who is actually taking a very quick and short power nap. Whis wants them focusing on learning each other's moves and using them against one another. This will help build the synchronization better when they finally fuse with the Poteras. Whis says that though the Potera combines the attributes of both fighters, they can obviously enhance their capabilities, their strengths, their tactics, and their movesets by going through this one-on-one training with the intentions on trying to learn and mimic one another by the end of the battle. So, all that being said, the training and the skirmish officially commences, both fighters exchanging great combinations and showing off new ideas and movesets to one another. Apparently, Vegeta has also developed some new techniques that Goku wasn't aware of prior to, and in doing so, both fighters are able to again learn new things in the midst of their one-on-one battle. It's traditional Goku and Vegeta one-on-one skirmishes. I think we all know how those play out. I don't need to really go in detail about it. It's very back and forth. It's very enjoyable to watch, and really neither of them have a serious advantage over one another, despite the fact again that Vegeta is actually a bit stronger in the story. Goku is able to use his intelligence as a battle warrior to kind of level the playing field, and I think that's what he's always been able to do, even if he's been outclassed or not as strong as his opposition. That's what makes Goku one of the greatest warriors, and the same could be said for Vegeta. Vegeta can also figure out a way to counter his opponents. So by the end of the training skirmish, the conclusion is essentially a draw, as both fighters end up mirroring each other with a big blast attack at the end that cancels each other out. And let's say for the sake of this story, they're actually both using a ki blast attack that's not a Kamehameha or a Gallic gun. It's something that they both kind of tapped into at the same time, kind of tripped out. The Saiyans are obviously depleted and exhausted at this point and want to have a big feast before beginning the next phase of their training. Whis grants them this request as Beerus wakes up from a very short power nap screaming, "Are you little Saiyans still playing around like children while I'm trying to sleep?" Of course, both fighters laugh, and shortly after this, Whis, Beerus, Goku, and Vegeta are now headed to Earth for a dinner time feast with the Z fighters and the gang, who are waiting and haven't seen them in quite some time, because again, Goku and Vegeta understood that they needed to get stronger. They want to be prepared for the next villain, and with what they've learned from Whis, they've understood that fighting together, fighting one-on-one, learning what they can from Whis will enable them to ultimately be strong enough to hopefully fuse and make things work so that no threat or opposition can come to threaten Earth and their loved ones ever again. And this is essentially where part 3 concludes. So with all that said, what are you expecting? How do you think this would actually turn out if this was happening in the current timeline of Dragon Ball Super? Of course, this is a big what if because we understand where the characters currently are, but I did try to take some aspects of what's happening in the canon timeline and also keep a little bit of that here in this story. Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate your love and support on the channel, and again, make sure to subscribe, and most importantly, smash the like button if you're enjoying this story so far. Make sure to share and do any of that good stuff. It does help out a lot. We'll be back with part 4, which is really going to kick up, and we'll also have a couple more after that. Fortunately, that's all the time I have for you guys right now, but I will see you all later in part 4 when Vegito turns Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball Super. Goodbye.